purchase contract, right? Don't let that throw you off. It's a wholesale contract. So let's put in a date. Here we go. And our seller is going to be Mr. and Mrs. Jarvis. Why not? Email here. Contact information is really important, guys, because it's not just for us. When we give this contract to the title company or the closing attorney, they know how to get a hold of our sellers. They need to do their due diligence and get their information. I'll just put email address and then a phone number. There we go. This address here, I have some people that get confused with this. Here's an address, right, and the property. So this is their address if they have a different address than the property that they are selling, which is very common. So we will put a different address in here. Buyer will be and then here's the property address that we are writing this contract on in regards to the property we want to take down. And then we're going to do our purchase price. So we're just going to go with an easy $200,000. And you guys make sure and put your periods in there. I know a lot of people just add the number, but just for making sure we don't mix up anything, no one misunderstands it, and make your lines clean. Like I said, this contract here that we're writing up is a presentation of our business as a transaction coordinator, so make it look good. Make sure you have a good program that you're using. So we'll just use that for the earnest money and closing date. So I'm going to add something here. On or before allows us to not have to write any addendums up until this date of September 27th. Sometimes if you can close earlier, that's great. Because it says on or before, we don't have to write an addendum. If it says September 27th and we close on a day before or after, we have to write an addendum. So this is just for efficiency and making it easy. So I put that in. Do you have to do that? No. There are some sellers that will say, I want an exact date. Just don't put on or before, but this is generally what I use. Escrow agent will be Title Alliance. So we'll put in all the information here, and it's good to put the company, the escrow agent, and their email address. That way, when the sellers get a copy of the executed contract, they have all of the information, makes everybody in the transaction feel a little bit better. This goes into agreement, just basically this is a legal binding contract. If you have any personal property, let's say you're doing a probate deal that you're going to be wholesaling and they're leaving some items in there, this is where you will fill that out. You'll check this box and fill out the personal property. Earnest money is generally 99% of the time deposited by the buyer, so we'll check that box. As we talked about close of escrow, it's actually educating our client what is close of escrow and who's paying the closing costs. In this deal, generally you will see a very common that the buyers pay the closing costs. That is definitely standard. I get asked that question all the time. And it talks about how this is an as-is purchase. Wholesale contracts, we buy at a discount, so they're generally as-is. And there you see the right here, the 10-day inspection period that it states. If you did negotiate a higher inspection period, you would put that here. So let's do that. Let's say 15 days. Now, why would that happen? If you're virtually investing and you want to check the inside of the property and have access to it, it might take you a little bit longer to find someone, some boots on the ground, that can go to the property and actually look inside the property. So take that into consideration when you're negotiating your deal. Risk of loss. So this just talks about what we went over in our due diligence period and our inspection period. What happens if someone cancels the contract or doesn't follow through? Where does the earnest money go? Seller's representations just basically states that based upon the conversation that you had with your sellers, the reason why you're moving forward with the contract. Anything pertinent to the property, would appreciate the seller let us know. And we have buyer's disclosures. This was written up for the state of Arizona. We have to let our sellers know, and as a disclosure, if there is lead-based paint, there are some other states where you have to do that too, but I left it in there since we're using Arizona as an example. But this is the area where I'm going to put my name because I am a licensed realtor. So this is the clause that we were talking about. Now the home was built, let's say in 1990, so I don't need to check this box. It does say with these wholesale deals that we buy properties at a discount because there's no rehab, there's a lot of the times no 6% commission fees, things of that sort, so we buy them at a discount. And here's your notice to cure. So this is where you would go into what the cure process is that we went over. Every contract is going to have some breach or remedies. What happens if you breach the contract? This is a legal binding contract. Here is our important clause assignment, and it says, buyer has the unqualified right to assign its rights under this contract to a third party. So it lets the seller know right here, we can assign this contract. Now, if this needs to be, the verbiage needs to be edited or things like that, you can do that at your discretion with your client's approval. But we like to leave this alone and keep it the way that it is. Talks about the entire agreement, severability, standard contract stuff. The jurisdiction, this is where I will add the state of Arizona. So all jurisdiction is done based upon where the property is located in. So if you have a property in Ohio, you will put Ohio here because we will abide by those laws. In addition to that, we will pick a title or closing attorney in the state that the property is located in to make sure that we are abiding by those laws. So that's something that I educate the seller on also, which makes them feel a little bit better. Talks about attorney fees, what were to happen if we went that route, counterparts in the transaction, and here is the additional terms section. And this is the part where we add any additional clauses or anything in the transaction, seller finance terms, things of that sort. For this one, since we're talking about wholesale, let's talk about and put, because to make the seller feel better, buyer is paying all closing costs. And let's say they have a judgment. And let's say buyer will pay 50% of the judgment. All of that stuff is what we will write in here in addition to anything else pertinent to your transaction. And that's it, guys. And then you're going to have the seller sign. Make sure they date. That date is what you use for your inspection period, what you use for when you write up addendums, just as a reminder. So it's always great to date your contracts. Then you will have them print their name and you are all done. Very simple, very straightforward. All of these points are necessities to the contract. The only thing that's not a necessity is obviously if you're a realtor or not, but these are the things you need to fill out to have an executed contract. Triple check. Now throw it through spell check. Make sure everything's spelled the right way. This is, once again, a presentation of your business. And this is a wholesale contract. All done.
You guys, I so appreciate you being here. I wanted to thank you for watching this video. I have so much more content to bring value to you guys, getting into the nitty-gritty, step-by-step guides. So please like, subscribe this video. Come check me out, get to know me a little bit more, and I'm so excited to share all of this with you in the near future.